Hi everyone, welcome to the session Basis and Dimension. Okay, now today we are going to see in this video what is a basis set of a vector space and what is the dimension of a vector space. Now we in vector space we have seen linearly independent set, the meaning of linearly independent set and the spanning set also we have seen. What is the linearly independent set? If S is equal to alpha 1 alpha 2 alpha n is a set, then when will you say this set is linearly independent? The linear combination of that set of elements is equal to 0 bar, and that implies all the constants existing in that linear combination are becoming zeros at a time, then you are saying that set is linearly independent. Similarly, S will be the linear span of V if every element of V can be expressed as a linear combination of that set of elements, then that set is said to be L of S. Now combining these two, we are going to define a basis of a vector space. Now what is the basis of a vector space? Basis of a vector space is nothing but it is a linearly independent subset of V which spans V. That means basis set is having two properties. Suppose if S is a subset of V, you want to say that S is a basis of V, S should be linearly independent and L of S should be equal to V, that is linear span. S should generate V or S should span V, that means every element of V can be expressed as a linear combination of elements of S. For example, see here, a subset S of a vector, a subset S of a vector space, a subset S of a vector space, a subset S of a vector space, V of F is said to be basis of V of F if S is linearly independent and each vector in V is a linear combination of finite number of elements of S, that is L of S is equal to V. Okay. Now if you take zero vector space, what do you mean by zero vector space? Zero vector space is V is equal to the set of 0 bar. It contains only one vector, that is 0 bar. Empty set will be the basis for that. Now a vector space may have more than one basis, that also we will see afterwards. Now what is the dimension of a vector space? The number of elements in the basis set is said to be dimension of a vector space. What is a dimension? The number of elements in the basis set is said to be dimension of a vector space. Now when will you say that finite dimensional vector space, a vector space V of F, a vector space V of F is said to be finite, is said to be finite dimensional or finitely generated if there exists a finite subset S of V such that L of S is equal to V. A vector space V of F is said to be finite dimensional. What you have said already, dimension of a vector space, the number of elements in the basis set is finite. The number of elements in the basis set is said to be dimension of a vector space. Now what you are saying, when will you say that the vector space is finite dimensional? It is finite dimensional if it is generated by a finite subset S of V. Okay. Now see the examples of basis set. Suppose if you take R3 of R is a vector space. It is a vector space, already we proved, is it? In vector space we have proved the set of all ordered triads will form a vector space with respect to the defined vector addition and multiplication. Now what is R3 of R? R3 of R is the set of all x, y, z where x, y, z belongs to R. This is R3 of R. Okay. Now take S is equal to 1 0 0 0 1 0 and 0 0 1. Now S is containing 3 elements. Now you are going to say S is a basis. If you want to say that S is a basis, what should be S? S should be linearly independent and L of S should be equal to V. L of S is equal to V means any element in V can be expressed as a linear combination of these set of elements, is it? Now see, now we will show that S is linearly independent. First, what you are going to prove? S is linearly independent. In order to prove that S is linearly independent, consider A into 1 0 0 plus B into 0 1 0 plus C into 0 0 1, that is equal to 0 bar, is it or not? Now if you take this, now this will be A, B, C, is it or not? And this will be equal to 0 0 0 because that is 0 bar in R3. Therefore, which implies A is equal to B is equal to C is equal to 0, is it? Therefore, here you are able to say that the constants existing in the linear combination are becoming equal to 0. Therefore, the set S is linearly independent by definition. Okay. Next, we will see whether this set L of S is V or not. In order to see that L of S is V, what you have to show, you have to take one element, you have to take one element in V, that is, let X, Y, Z belongs to V. What is S? S is equal to 1 0 0 0 1 0 comma 0 0 1. S is this, is it or not? Therefore, now what you have to prove? L of S is equal to V. That means any element in V, arbitrary element in V, should be the linear combination of these elements. Suppose if you take X, Y, Z, now you can write X, Y, Z is equal to X into 1 0 0 plus Y into 0 1 0 plus Z into 0 0 1. Is it or not? Can you write? This will be X, Y, Z. So, any element in R3 of R is written as a linear combination of the elements of S. Therefore, L of S is equal to V. Now, what you are able to say? L of S is equal to V and S is linearly independent. So, by definition of basis set, it will be the basis of R3 of R. How many elements are there in S? 3 elements are there. The number of elements in the basis set is said to be dimension of a vector space. The dimension is written like this, R3. So, the set of all ordered triads will form a vector space and its dimension is 3 because the number of elements in this basis set is 3. Okay. You have seen one example for basis set, that is, you have taken R3 of R and S is equal to 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1 is the basis set for that vector space. The number of elements in the basis set is said to be dimension of a vector space. Now we will see basis existence theorem. What is it? It is the basis existence theorem. Now, every finite dimensional vector space has a basis. What we are going to prove? Every finite dimensional vector space has a basis, or if V of F is a finite dimensional vector space, then there exists a basis set of V. What is V of F? See how we proved. What is V of F? V of F is a finite dimensional vector space. How you are able to say, when you say finite dimensional vector space definition is, when will you say that any vector space is finite dimensional? If there exists a finite subset of V, such that L of S is equal to V. If there exists a finite subset S such that L of S is equal to V. What is given to you? V of F is a finite dimensional vector space. Since V of F is a finite dimensional vector space, there exists a finite subset S of V such that L of S is equal to V. Now you are having S which is having finite number of elements and L of S is equal to V. Okay. Now what is S? S is having finite number of elements. So consider alpha 1, alpha 2 and so on alpha n as the set S. Okay. Now S is equal to what? You are having S is equal to alpha 1, alpha 2 and so on alpha n. S is the set with n elements. Now you have to assume that 0 does not belongs to S. Why? Because any set which contains 0 element will be linearly dependent. Okay, if S is linearly dependent, then you are not able to say that it is a basis, because according to the definition of basis, S should be linearly independent. Okay, now assume 0 does not belongs to S, that is none of these alphas is 0. So if S, how is S? L of S is equal to V. Okay, if S is linearly independent, then S will be a basis. Okay, will it be? So your problem is over. There exists a basis. If S is not linearly independent, it will be linearly dependent. If S is not linearly independent, S will be linearly dependent. Since S is linearly dependent, according to the known theorem, there exists one element in S such that it can be expressed as a linear combination of its preceding vectors. It can be expressed as a linear combination of its preceding vectors. Now see, let alpha I be such vector. Now if you take alpha I belongs to S, it can be expressed as a linear combination of its preceding vectors. Its preceding vectors are alpha 1, alpha 2 and so on alpha I minus 1. Okay. Now what you are going to do is, you are eliminating this alpha I from S and you are calling the remaining set as S1. Now S is containing n elements. Out of n elements you are taking out one element. So how many elements will be remain? N minus 1 elements. If you eliminate alpha I from S, you are having a set with n minus 1 elements and call that set as S1 and call that set as S1. Clearly it is the subset of S because only one element is less. All the other elements are of S1 are the elements of S. S1 is subset of S, and by known theorem in linear span, L of S1 is equal to L of S. We have seen there. Now L of S1 is equal to L of S, but L of S is equal to V. Now what you got? L of S1 is equal to V. What is S1? S1 is the set obtained from S by removing one element alpha I, and you are having L of S1 is equal to V. Therefore, what can you say? If S1 is linearly independent, S1 will be the basis. Is it? Because L of S1 is equal to V and S1 is linearly independent, you can say by definition of basis set, S1 will be the basis. Okay. Now, if S1 is not linearly independent, then S1 will be linearly dependent. If S1 is linearly dependent, now you have to remove proceed above process. That means if S1 is linearly dependent means, again by using the known theorem, there exists one more element in S1 such that it can be expressed as a linear combination of its preceding terms. Again you will eliminate the term which is expressed as a linear combination. That means some alpha j you will eliminate. Then you will get a set S2 with the number of elements n minus 2. Okay. Now such that L of S2 is equal to V. Okay. If S2 is linearly independent, S2 will be the basis. If not, again you will repeat the process. until you will get a Singleton element. How many times you can repeat? Because S is having finite number of elements, you can repeat the process until you will get a set which contains only one element, and that will be not equal to 0 because alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n are not zeros. You said 0 does not belongs to S. Therefore, no alphas are zeros. Therefore, you will get a set after repeating finite number of steps, you will get a set which is containing one element which is not equal to 0. That will be linearly independent, and L of that set will be V automatically. Therefore, there exists a basis for every finite dimensional vector space. Is it clear? There exists a basis for every finite dimensional vector space. This is called as basis existence theorem. Prove that every finite dimensional vector space has a basis, like this you may ask, or state and prove existence theorem, basis existence theorem, you may also ask like that. So, where you have started, every finite dimensional vector space has a basis. When will you say that a vector space is finite dimensional? If it has a finite subset such that L of linear span of that finite subset is equal to V. Okay. Now, I think it is clear. Now, see the next one. Dimension of a vector space, already I told you. The number of elements in any basis of V is called the dimension of V, and it is denoted by dimension of V. We will write like this, DIMV, dimension of V. Okay. Now, already I gave this example, 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1 is a basis of V3 of R. V3 of R or R3 of R, you can say. Dimension of V is number of elements in the set S, that is equal to 3. Now, see this theorem, invariance theorem. The vector space may have more than one basis. Vector space may have more than one basis, but the number of elements in any basis will be the same. If suppose the vector space is having two basis sets, the number of elements in the first set will be same as the number of elements in the second set. That only in this theorem we are going to say. See, let V of F be finite dimensional vector space, then prove that any two bases have the same number of elements. Any two bases have the same number of elements. Now, what is that? Vector space is having two bases, and it is finite dimensional, means the number of elements in the basis set will be finite. So, let Sn, Sm be two bases of V, where Sn is equal to alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n, and Sm is equal to alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha m. That means you are having two subsets of V which both are becoming basis to V. Now, in the first set you are having n elements, in the second set you are having m elements. But according to, if you want to say that the two bases will have the same number of elements, that means you have to prove n is equal to m. For that, what we did see, suppose Sn is a basis of V. Okay. Sn is basis of me means Sn is linearly independent, and L of Sn is equal to V. Okay. Therefore, and how many elements are there in Sn? N elements are there. Okay. N of Sn is equal to n. Similarly, Sm is basis of V. Sm is linearly independent, L of Sm is equal to V. So, Nsm is equal to m. Okay. See here, Sn is linearly independent. Sn can be extended to form a basis of V. We will see basis extinction theorem. Then you will know Sn can be extended to form a basis of V. Therefore, if such a case, n is less than or equal to m. Similarly, if you interchange the role of Sn and Sm, Sm is linearly independent. By extinction theorem, that is basis extinction theorem is there. In other video I explained it. Sm can be extended to form a basis of V. Therefore, m less than or equal to n. In first case you got n less than or equal to m. Here you got m less than or equal to n. From those two you can say n is equal to m. That means any two bases of a vector space have the same number of elements. Now is it clear? That means invariance theorem, this theorem is said to be invariance theorem. That means there won't be any change in the dimension of a vector space. The number of elements in the basis set is said to be dimension of a vector space. Suppose any vector space is having two basis sets, two sets as its basis, then the number of elements in both the sets will be the same. That is the statement of invariance theorem. Now next see, show problem. Show that the set of n vectors E1 1 0 0 0, E2 0 1 0 0 and so on En is a basis of Vn of f. Already I showed for three-dimensional vector space, that is V3 of R or R3 of R, I showed that 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1 is a basis. Similarly here this will be the basis of Vn of f. Vn of f is nothing but it is the set of all ordered n tuples, that is x1, x2 and so on xn, where x1, x2 and so on xn belongs to f. This is the Vn of f. For this set, this S will be the basis. See, that means S is linearly independent, you have to prove. Consider A1 E1 plus A2 E2 plus so on An in En is equal to 0 bar, and you are able to get A1 is equal to 0, A2 is equal to 0 and so on An is equal to 0. In detail we have seen in three-dimensional case. You can see this on your own, or here also it is explained. This if you add this, you will get A1 A2 An is equal to 0 bar. That implies A1 is equal to 0, A2 is equal to 0 and so on An. So S is linearly independent. Still what you have to prove, L of S is equal to V, then only you can say V and L of S is equal to Vn of f, then only you can say S is the basis. Now clearly L of S is subset of Vn of f. Will you accept? What is L of S? Linear span. If you take any element in L of S, that will be the linear combination of the elements of S. Always the linear combination of the elements of S will be the element of V of f, because V of f is a vector space. Okay. Now it is obvious L of S is the subset of Vn of f. Already we proved in case of spanning set. In that video we proved that. Let x is equal to a1 a2 an belongs to Vn of f. Then a1 a2 an can be written as a1 into 1 0 0 plus a2 into 0 1 0 0 0 plus so on. Now this is a1 e1 a2 e2 plus so on an en. This belongs to L of S, being the linear combination of the elements of S. Now where you have taken S, x in Vn of f, where you are able to show that in L of S. Therefore Vn of f is subset of L of S. Now from this and this you can say that L of S is equal to Vn of f. Now S is linearly independent and L of S is equal to Vn of f. Therefore S is basis of Vn of f. Now here already you have seen the set 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1 is the basis of R3. Similarly 1 0 0 1 is the standard basis of V2 of f. This will be the standard basis of Vn of f. Okay. Now see the next problem. Show that the infinite set S is equal to 1 x square x power n is a basis of the vector space f of x over the field f, given that S is equal to 1 x square x power n. Now it should be linearly independent, you have to prove. Suppose take the linear combination of the elements of S. that is a naught plus a1x plus a2x square plus so on an x power n plus so on equal to 0, where a naught, a1, a2, an and so on will be the elements of f. Now what is it? It is a polynomial. If you equate the polynomial to 0 polynomial, the coefficients will be 0. So a naught is equal to 0, a1 is equal to 0, a2 is equal, because this 0 can be written as a 0 polynomial, that is 0 plus 0x plus 0x square plus so on plus 0x power n plus so on. Can you write? You can write this 0 like that. So if you equate the like coefficients, constant a naught is equal to 0, the coefficient of x a1 is equal to 0 and so on. Okay. Next, therefore what can you say? S is linearly independent. How you are able to say that S is linearly independent? Because you had considered the linear combination of the elements of S is equal to 0, and you are able to show that all the constants existing in that combination are becoming zeros at a time. Therefore, S is linearly independent. Still what you have to prove? L of S is equal to f of x. For this clearly, for that you have to prove L of S is subset of f of x. It is obvious. Now what you have to prove? Fx is the subset of L of S. For that you have to consider an arbitrary element in f of x. So you have taken f as a polynomial a naught plus a1x plus a2 so on, and it belongs to f of x. Now you are going to say that is the belongs to L of S. For that what you are taking? A naught into 1 plus a1 into x plus a2 into x square plus so on an into x power n. What is this? This is nothing but the linear combination of the elements of S. So it is belonging to L of S. You have taken f in f of x and you are able to say that it is in L of S. Now already you say, therefore fx is a subset of L of S. Already you are having L of S is a subset of f of x. From that and this you can say that L of S is equal to f of x. Okay. Therefore now S is the spanning set of f of x and S is linearly independent. So what can you say? S is a basis. Thank you.